Researchers have spent decades trying to understand what actually gets transferred from a parent to a child. Not what parents intend to teach, what children actually absorb. And the answer, across study after study, is the same. It is not the lessons. It is not the big conversations you prepared for. It is the moments you forgot anyone was watching. There is a version of parenting that lives in the big moments. The speech you gave, the thing you said when it mattered, the conversation you planned. And then there is the version that is actually shaping your child. It lives in the quiet in-between. The moments before you had time to be intentional. The ones that felt too small to count. Here are 5 of them, happening right now, in your home, today. 1. The voice in the mirror. She is small. She does not have the words for what she is doing yet, but she is in the doorway while you look in the mirror. She hears the sigh before you realize you let it out. She is on the floor nearby when you burn dinner and say something sharp under your breath. She is close enough to hear everything you think she cannot hear. Child psychology has understood this for a long time. A child's inner voice is not built from the encouragement you give them. It is built from the voice they hear you use on yourself. Every time you speak to yourself with contempt for being too much, not enough, too slow, too tired, she is taking notes. Not consciously, but she is building a model for what the voice inside a person sounds like. She practices yours until it becomes hers. And she will carry it long after she has forgotten where it came from. You do not have to love every version of yourself in the mirror. You do not have to perform gratitude you do not feel. But what if she saw you try? What if she watched you catch the cruel thought and choose a different one, even once, even imperfectly? She is not looking for perfect. She is looking for possible. She needs to know that the voice inside a person can be kind. Yours is the first one she will ever hear. 2. The 10 seconds at the counter. She is 3 years old and she is with you at the counter. The order is wrong. The line took too long. The person across from you makes a small mistake, speaks quietly, moves slowly. And in the 10 seconds that follow, without a single word directed at her, you teach her something about human worth that no conversation could replicate. She is watching how you treat someone who cannot do anything for you. Children are sorting the world constantly, building a map of who deserves patience and who does not, who gets eye contact, who gets the soft voice, who gets the benefit of the doubt. They build that map by watching you. And what they conclude is not just about strangers at a counter. It becomes the framework they use for every relationship, including the one they eventually have with themselves. They will extend grace to others the way they watched you extend it when nothing was in it for you. Raising a child who moves through the world with kindness does not start with a lesson about kindness. It starts in a moment like that one, a breath before a reaction, a soft word to someone who will never know what it cost you. She is watching, and what she sees in that moment will outlast every book you ever read to her at bedtime. If you are recognizing any of this in yourself, you are already doing something most parents never do. You are paying attention. Stay with us. There are 3 more things your daughter is quietly learning from you right now. 3. The promises you make to yourself. You said you would start. You said you would stop. You said you would try. The habit, the thing you would quit, the promise you made in a quiet moment to yourself when no one was listening. No one is holding you to it, except she noticed. She always notices, not because she is tracking you, because children are wired to watch the person they love most for signals about how the world works. When a child watches a parent quietly walk away from something they said they would do, the lesson they absorb is not that life is hard. It is something smaller and more damaging. It is this: the things I promise myself do not have to be kept. That belief will follow her into every goal she sets, every time she almost starts, every time she stops just before she is done. You do not have to be the person who never falls short. She needs to see you try. She needs to see you miss and come back anyway. She needs to see that your word to yourself is something you take seriously enough to return to. That is the thing that becomes her relationship with her own commitment. 4. Your 10-second reaction to disappointment. Something does not go the way you needed it to. Maybe it is small, a plan that fell apart, a person who let you down, a day that turned sideways before noon. You have about 10 seconds. And in those 10 seconds, in what you reach for, in the sound that comes out of you, in whether you go quiet or go somewhere else entirely, your daughter is memorizing a response to disappointment that may live in her for decades. This is not about whether you lose your temper. Every parent does. Every person does. This is about the pattern. What you model in the moment after loss is teaching her something specific about what emotions are allowed to exist and what a person is supposed to do with the ones that are hardest to hold. If she watches you push it down, she learns to push it down. If she watches you erupt and then disappear, she learns that is what pain does to a person. If she never sees you name what you feel, she will spend years not knowing she is allowed to. This is actually how you raise a resilient child, not by protecting her from hard moments, but by letting her witness how you move through one. You do not have to handle it perfectly. You just have to come back. Name it, even briefly, even imperfectly. Let her see that the feeling had a name, that you survived it, and that what came after it was still you. That is the lesson she will reach for when life disappoints her. 5. How you inhabit your body when you rest. She is 9 years old now, and she watches you sit down. And then she watches you stand back up because you cannot hold still. Or she watches you stay seated but fidget, scroll, apologize to no one for doing nothing. She watches you perform busyness even when the day is done, because stopping feels like something you have to justify. Somewhere along the way, you learned that rest is a reward, that stillness has to be earned. This is one of the costs in child development that almost no one speaks about. When a child grows up watching a parent who cannot rest without guilt, they inherit that in the body. Not as a thought they think, but as a feeling they carry. A low hum that says, you should be doing something. Your worth lives in your output. A body that is still is a body falling behind. She will carry that into her work, into her relationships, into the way she talks to herself at the end of a long day. Rest like you mean it, not as a collapse at the end of a day you barely survived, as a choice, something she can watch you do with intention. Let her see that a person can be completely still and completely enough, that the work does not define the worth, that a body can be trusted to know when it needs to stop. She is learning what it means to inhabit herself from watching you inhabit yours. None of this requires a perfect day. None of it requires a speech or a lesson or a plan written somewhere. It requires you to remember, even for a moment, that she is building something right now. From ordinary Tuesday mornings and long Wednesday evenings and every unremarkable moment you have ever shared. She is not waiting for the version of you that has it all figured out. She is learning from the one who is trying. Not the parent you perform for other people, the one in the kitchen before anyone else is awake, the one in the car when something goes sideways, the one who looks in the mirror and says something, whatever it is, before the day has even started. That is the one raising her. That has always been the one raising her. And if something in this landed, if it reminded you of something you already knew but had forgotten to protect, the next video is about something most parents never talk about. Not what you do wrong, what you survive out loud, and what it teaches her when she watches you keep going anyway. That one is worth staying for.